Okay, my sugar boogers. Hello, greetings, namaste, sup. I have your 3 card spread this week. I'm so committed to getting these out weekly now. I call them weekly. This is my cat. But I don't do them weekly. So I'm like, I'm ready to do them weekly. I like you people. Let's do this. So I just pulled a nice 3 card spread in your Akashic Records. I open your Akashic Records, I pull the cards, here the cards are. And this is the recent past, the present moment, this cat's tail, and the future, the short term, around the corner outcome of the present moment. So here's what's been happening. Recent past is the compass card. Yep, yep, yep. We're going to look at what the hell that means. That's very cool, though. I'm going to come back to it and say words about it. Present moment is the movement card. Very good sign that we have movement in the present moment. Very good. Outcome, slow and steady, bitches. Slow and steady. Take your time. Take a breath. Keep moving, but slow and steady, right? There's a saying from the 12-step programs that I like. They say, easy does it, but do it. Easy does it, but do it. But easy does it while you're doing it. So the compass card in the recent past position, we have this card 50, and I love this deck, as I've told you 70 million times. And here's what the deck has to say about the compass card. I'm going to give you kind of what I'm getting from it energetically first, which is to say that if you remember last week's reading, if you haven't checked that bad boy out, I recommend you do. There was a lot of like solitude, like shit's a little crazy, so sit down, get with yourself, don't push forward. Now, interestingly, we have the compass card in the recent past position, which the compass card is to do with following the North Star of your higher power. Whatever your higher self, God, the divine, the universe, the tree of life, whatever you like to follow that gives you higher guidance, is in our recent past position, which is exactly what you would have come to following your higher guidance if you sat in solitude and did your meditative work, which last week told us was the outcome card at the end of that spread. So we're in perfect alignment. Look at that. How groovy is that? So what the deck says, compass, as long as you orient your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. You're entering uncharted territories right now and can expect wonderful new experiences. Let's just sit with that for a second. You're entering uncharted territories, facing your fear of new stuff, and can expect wonderful new experiences. So how often do we equate uncharted territory with like terror and bad shit's gonna happen? All the time. To stay on the highest path of your destiny, you'll need to keep your compass pointed to true north. Only spirit or a higher power can serve this function. Not your ego, not your finances, not your pretty car, not your house, not the person you're dating, not the food you eat or the way your body looks, not your status in society. Only spirit or a higher power can serve this function. This shit is for real, you guys. It's not like a nice abstract woo-woo idea. Oh, I should have a higher power. Like, okay, higher power, guide me. Now I'm going to just do what I want. It's like we have to actually build a relationship with the divine and be in constant contact with it, such that we're making choices from that space as often as possible. Why? Because life works better when we do. Just be practical about it. Don't you want your life to flow and be like abundant and easy? That's what happens when you follow higher power. It's not always easy to surrender your ego and choose that path. But once you do, everything flows. Okay. Money, property, prestige, romance, all the things I just listed, and other material achievements cannot help you find your true path. What? What? You mean America has it backwards? Yeah. They are simply things you may experience along the journey. Know that spirit is working in your life, so even if you feel lost temporarily, it will be easy to find your way. Have faith and trust, for your compass with spirit as true north will ensure that you'll never be lost, even on a starless night when all seems dark. So the recent past, you guys, is where we've all been getting realigned with source because we're like, okay, I'm fucked here. There's nothing that's working that isn't source, so I'll go back to source. Okay, fine. I don't know about you, but I have a big ass ego. And so I have to go back to source through discipline all the time. But the cool thing is the reason I'm motivated to do so is the outcome. The payoff is so immediate and so useful and so much lighter and practical and wonderful and fulfilling that I'm willing. Even though my ego is still like, but I don't want to help other people and I just want to lay down and eat ice cream. My soul and my body know better at this point that if we listen to that voice, life isn't so groovy. Okay, so the present moment, as a result of getting, realigned with or connected with Source, we're in the movement. You're in a time of positive forward motion. How wonderful is that? This is the time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You are in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. This is so on point for me. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts, and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't the time for fear. Let it go and move forward. Let it go, and move forward. You could do it. Listen, fear is always going to talk to you when you start moving forward. The question is, are you willing to not listen? So many of my clients are like, I want to heal all my fear. And I'm like, you kind of can, but kind of not. Really, what you have to do is have a relationship with fear where you say, like, I understand that you're afraid. Let's evaluate. How has me listening to you, fear voice in my being, worked for me in the past? Oh, shittily. Got it. Let's not engage with that voice. The metaphor I always like to use that a therapist gave me years ago, thank you, Maxine Pupko, is if a crazy man was let out of an insane asylum near your house, let's say there were an insane asylum near your house, crazy man, fully psychotic murderer, got out of broke through the wall, dug a tunnel out, climbed a fence, and came to your window, your bedroom window, and knocked on your window and said, like, Katie, you're terrible and you shouldn't go forward and keep everything the same because change is terrifying. And you looked at him and you saw, oh, that he has like the jumpsuit of the like insane asylum. Would you invite him into your house and take his advice? No! You would call the police and say, this man has to go because he's crazy. So why, when the fear voice talks in our head that says, you can't move forward, keep it small, keep it familiar, why do we listen? That's a crazy man knocking at the bedroom window of your mind. Don't engage the conversation. You fucking close those blinds and you call the goddamn police. Excuse me. Now. Present moment. I got excited there, so my throat said, calm down. Coming back to center. Now, we're in a positive forward momentum moment. What's the outcome, or what's the future around the corner? It's slow and steady. I love this card. Slow and steady wins the race. Remember the old cliche, slow and steady wins the race? This is a time for easy movement, unhurried steps, and a steady heart. Trust that taking life at a more leisurely pace, God, this reading this week is for me. I hope it's for you too. Will give you greater access to your dreams. What? Slowing down gives you greater access to your dreams? I thought we had to speed up and run toward our dreams. No! No! Slowing down allows more contact with the juicier elements of your life. Savor them! The book said savor them. The book knows all. That's my cat's butt. So this is a really fun, positive read. I love this. This is making my morning. You got back together with spirit. You're like, fuck it. I need to align. This whole running the show by myself thing, not working. Sweet. Higher compass, guide me. As a result, positive momentum right now. But take it easy. Slow and steady wins the race. If you go too fast, you can't feel... Look, this is how it works for me. Just this morning, I had this happen. I wake up in the morning these days and I have all this peace in my body from all this weird healing work I've done for so long. And I'm so habituated from my earlier life to running at a frenetic, panicked pace that I often feel like, is it safe to be this peaceful and to move this slow? It can't be. You can't do life at a slowly, leisurely pace that feels good to your spinal column and your nervous system. That's not possible. But then, because I don't like that adrenaline feeling anymore and that anxious, revved up craziness that America teaches us we have to function from, I come back to my center and I just choose. I go, you know what? Even if I die and am poor and broke and never eat food again, because I can't afford to buy any, which never happens, I'm going to move at this new slow pace because it nourishes me and nurtures me. So that's what I'm effing doing. Period. And guess what? I have more fulfillment, more joy, more happiness, more peace than I've ever had. This is a call from potential spam. Do you think I should answer? I think I'm not gonna. It's always like part of my brain goes, potential spam, but potential not spam. But we're gonna trust the algorithm. I love you. Move slowly. Feel good because you're in a positive momentum. And remember, everything comes back to source. The things we turn to make us have clarity that aren't spirit always end up falling away as a source. They don't have to fall away in your life entirely. It doesn't mean, the spiritual path doesn't mean like be alone and have no people in your life and don't eat food and never make money. It doesn't mean that. It means start at source and move from there. And when you start in communion with the divine and move from there, the divine is then able to collaborate with you and magnetize to you all the stuff you think you need and want, to the degree that source knows you actually need it. But if you try to put your ego and what you want at the center of your being, that's when everything is like a weird, tricky uphill battle. You want to put source at the center of your being and move from there in service and in bowing and in surrender to it. Why? Because shit works better that way. I love you. Have a good week. Slow and steady, motherfucker.